Luck works in strange ways. If you stay committed long enough, it eventually turns in your favor.
What?
And something similar happened with Marvel. There was a time when Marvel openly admitted, "We're broke." And today, the same company stands as an entertainment giant. So in this video, I'm going to take you through Marvel's journey, from bankruptcy to becoming one of the world's biggest franchises. Because the darkness Marvel came out of, most companies never escape it. They collapse. But Marvel survived. And by the end of this video, your respect for Marvel will grow much deeper. We'll also talk about how this downfall accidentally gave rise to legendary stories like Invincible, The Walking Dead, and Spawn, why Sony refuses to give back the Spider-Man rights, and where Disney made its surprising wildcard entry. Let's begin. Back in the 1960s, getting access to comic books wasn't easy. But then a distributor opened a direct market for comic book selling, and comic stores started popping up everywhere. As comic sales grew, people with business instincts realized they could resell older comics at higher prices. By the 1970s, comic collecting became a trend. By the 1980s, even people who didn't read comics started collecting them, thinking they would become valuable in the future. Comic companies fueled this hype through special editions, first issues, and alternate covers. Artists became superstars. In fact, many legendary artists left Marvel and formed their own publishing company, which today we know as Image Comics. This is the company behind stories like Invincible, Kick-Ass, Jupiter's Legacy, and The Walking Dead. If Marvel had not faced financial problems, Image Comics might never have existed, and many of these stories might never have been created. As the trend grew, comic stores opened everywhere. Everyone was selling comics, even people with no connection to the business. People bought comics as an investment, not to read them. But when they finally tried to sell them, they realized everyone else owned the same issues. No rarity, no value. The entire comic market collapsed. This phenomenon is known as collector's fatigue. Marvel got hit the hardest. Comic sales dropped drastically. Marvel stock began to fall. By the early 1990s, Marvel was on the edge of bankruptcy.
Then why didn't DC fall? Marvel wasn't the only company making comics. DC should have faced the same issue, right? Well, DC had a powerful advantage. DC had already been acquired by Warner Bros. In 1969. Warner Bros. Had deep financial support and had already started producing DC movies, beginning with 1978's Superman. Even though many of those early films had mixed success, the company had enough backing to survive the market crash. Marvel did not. Marvel starts renting out its characters. To stay alive, Marvel made a desperate decision. It didn't sell its characters, it leased their rights to different studios. This way, Marvel could earn continuous revenue whenever movies or shows were made on those characters. Here's where they went. Sony bought rights to Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Thor, and Luke Cage. Fox took X-Men, Fantastic Four, Daredevil. Universal took Hulk and Namor. New Line Cinema got Blade and Iron Man. Lionsgate got Punisher, Black Widow, and Man-Thing. Today, we think Iron Man is an A-tier character and others like Captain Marvel are lower tier. But in the 90s, the only globally popular Marvel character was Spider-Man. Fantastic Four and X-Men came next. Avengers were nowhere near as popular back then. Over time, character rights started returning to Marvel. Iron Man came back and Marvel built the first MCU film around him. Hulk returned, but Universal kept the distribution rights, which is why there has only been one solo Hulk film in the MCU. Then came the turning point. Disney enters the game. In 2009, after noticing Marvel's growing potential, Disney bought the company. Disney wanted to change its image from being seen only as a brand for children and families to appealing to a broader, more diverse audience. With Marvel, they gained access to a massive male audience and the potential for global franchises. This is why almost all MCU movies stayed PG-13 for many years. Disney avoids adult content and prefers wide audience releases. Marvel, meanwhile, worked tirelessly to remain relevant. Whenever a character's rights returned, Marvel quickly introduced them in movies or series. Black Widow, Thor, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Ghost Rider. One by one, Marvel rebuilt its universe. Today, almost all characters have returned to Marvel, except one, Spider-Man. Spider-Man is still controlled by Sony. Marvel and Sony have a shared use agreement, allowing Spider-Man to appear in the MCU, but Marvel does not own him. People often ask, why doesn't Marvel just buy Spider-Man back? Because you can't buy something that the other side refuses to sell. For Sony, Spider-Man is their biggest moneymaker, and they will not give him up easily. In the current deal, Sony keeps all profits from Spider-Man movies. Marvel earns from Spider-Man merchandise, which sells every single day. Movie profits come every few years. Merchandise profits come every day. So in the long run, both companies benefit, but Marvel benefits more from merchandise than people realize. Marvel's story isn't just a comeback. It's proof that even after a total collapse, a company can rebuild itself piece by piece and rise higher than ever before.